been flying to?
I don't know. He's probably looking at the view.
He's watching us. He's like, wow,
Yeah.
look at that.
What are those fucking idiots doing down there?
I haven't seen those there before. Okay.
Okay, so what were we doing? Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, so you just mentioned like finding a passion.
Yeah.
So what is that passion and where is your future taking you?
So, okay, my current passion is filmmaking, as well as sailing. That's kind of my hobby, but my current passion is filmmaking. I guess that's sort of the transient. It's sort of a passing passion, if you will. Like, my real passion is sort of focusing on stories like mine that don't get seen by people, and that's kind of why filmmaking seemed like the right way to go, because it's a way that I can tell those stories. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, I think we should mention something about like the overall theme too, which is that it changed you. It made you who you are today.
Good.
How did it do that? And then going back to again, like, I guess just like the day you really realized shit and like how, or I guess just like we talked about in the beginning, like a typical day, just like Brianna kind of said with like depression, like your mental health state too, if you're comfortable talking about that, if at all, unless like, you know what I mean? Like, did you have anything like that made certain days
change, like over the past years?
Yeah, that too. So let's do that, and then like how it made you.
Sorry, I don't know what you guys are asking.
So how did it make you who you are today, and how do you feel about the time spent being there? Like, whether it was worth spending that much time to really figure it out, how it got you to where you are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like stuff like that on kind of like the overall moral.
Yeah. Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
All right, so I've asked myself this many times. When I ask myself, would I go back and sort of erase my really most of it was awful being on the street. Would I go back and take all that back? And I really wouldn't. Every moment I've lived up until now has made me who I am, and it made me a more compassionate person. It made me understand people's stories that I would have never before with my sort of limited existence up until then. And so yeah, I wouldn't take back any of my experience, horrible as some of it was. And then what was the other part that?
I guess like were there other questions on that?
There's a couple that were covered through other questions, and then the last one was any additional things you'd like to say to the audience. Do you feel like there's anything additional you'd like to say to the audience?
Like to people who just have no idea what this experience is like.
Well, I will say that my film production company is called Shadow Power, and my partner and I went through like this whole process of figuring out what we wanted to call it. And I guess we called it that because I feel like these experiences like from the darkness have a lot of power and really wisdom that can help everyone. You know, I think a lot of people, not just addicts and alcoholics, kind of struggle and are searching for meaning and purpose. And what I learned in sort of a crash course was that you can't find it in material things. You can't find it in substances. You can't find it even in other people. Like, you have to find something that drives your soul from the inside. I guess that's what I would want to say.
And then I remember you telling me in the car, it was something about how, what was it? I literally just had it. I know, I'm trying.
You got this, girl.
We were in the car and you were talking about how there was something.
Dylan, you think too?
No, it was along the lines of that, but it was the fact that like everybody tries to fill that hole, that void.
Yep.
Man, you guys had like a whole ass conversation. Me and
Yeah. Hey, when I talk, I don't fuck around.
But it was almost like, it was like,
I was just talking to Blake
Just
about how I
kinda-
wanted like chuck babies like across the parking lot.
Violent person.
I'm not.
You know what? I kind of am not surprised by that.
I'm not.
I think you
never
have
pushed
some
anyone.
latent rage that you need to work on.
No, friggin' babies suck. They're just hella ugly.
Mm.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
You didn't want to get into that, but you know, some of them stink pretty bad too.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It was something about like you talking about everybody tries to fill that void with something.
Yeah.
And then
Everybody's drunk on something.
No, it's true.
Everybody's high on something.
or
I mean, I don't want to say everybody, but certainly American culture, we are spiritually sick, and you know, whether shopping or gambling or sex, whatever, there's all sorts of addictions that people have to try to fill that spiritual hole. And you know, we have a culture that thinks that material items will fill that hole, and it just never will. Just never, ever, ever.
okay, I've thought of it. So you were telling me that like nobody thinks it can happen to them. Like you were saying, you did other stuff.
Yeah.
But it can happen to anybody, any age. You don't have
Sure.
to be born with addiction.
Good job.
Okay.
Okay, so, you know, as I said before, I grew up in a pretty typical upper middle class town, and I didn't have parents who beat me. My parents never even got divorced. I actually have perfectly lovely parents who were caring and compassionate people. And, you know, the image that I was shown about drug addicts is that they come from broken homes, they have horrible lives, and that's why they use drugs. And that just wasn't the experience for me. I had a pretty good life up until the time that I decided to start putting opiates in my body. And so I guess one of the lessons I learned is that there is no typical addict, and it could happen to anyone.
Yes. Okay, because it reminisces with like my friend had a dad who like went to rehab and all this stuff, and she was telling me basically, and her mom was telling me, like, just to, I don't know if this will help form any words or anything, but just that like, you know, he never had a problem up until he was like the age 40, and all of a sudden he had an issue for 10 years, and it was
Right.
like, whoa. So yeah, it's like it can happen to anybody any moment. Like that is a good statement that you brought up, and that's where I related that to how it could relate to anybody with alcohol if they're addicted to that, like whatever it is. I don't know if you want to enunciate on that at all, like being like, yeah, like they all connect in a way where it's like it doesn't have to just be heroin. Like, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have problems with alcohol and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then maybe after that we wrap up that whole moral again, where how you're doing fine now. And we could probably get extra B-roll footage of you like using a camera and stuff like that to like show.
Okay.
You know, like,
Not to be the AD though. We are like it's
We
already
are.
getting close to sunset,
yeah.
Yep.
and we have another camera angle we need to do.
Yeah. So let's really wrap
And
it.
more B-roll. So I'm thinking instead of like rehashing those points, maybe we should just do like closing statement.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you want
If
to
you
add
guys
it
are
into your
okay with
closing
that.
statement or whatever,
I
just
mean,
try it. Just try to
can,
wrap
just-
it up, I guess.
Okay, wait, so add what? Sorry, there's a lot in there.
So yeah. So basically, I guess instead of rephrasing that, because we do have a little bit of time to work with here, so just maybe say really quickly before you finish that statement, just be like, you know, alcohol, weed, whatever it is, everybody's got things,
good.
and they all kind of blend in, and then just be like, now this is where I am now.
Okay, so I feel like everyone has some kind of a vice, whether it's alcohol, weed, gambling, sex, you know, pick your poison, shopping. They all kind of relate to one another. It's this need to fill a spiritual vacuum that people feel. And I guess for me, what filled that was finding a passion and finding meaning and purpose in my life. And that has been the thing that changed my life and kind of got me to where I am today. You know, I've been clean sober 2.5 years now. I manage the SLE I live in. I started a production company last year, and yeah, I just bought a sailboat too, which is pretty cool. So, I don't know. How do we want to?
That was so good.
Oh.
My name
I
is
think you
Dylan
wrapped that up.
Johnson.
No, but yeah, wait,
And I love
maybe
this boat.
maybe we do that for the ending piece. We could be like, you could be like, my name is Dylan, and you know that was my story. Or you could be, what else could we say?
No, I
Or-
like that.
Yeah, or unless there's something a little less, my name's Dylan, and I hope my story helps, or something like that.
Let's try my name is, okay, I'll just do that, and let's try a couple other ones.
Okay.
All right, should I look into the camera for this one? What do you think?
Maybe
We
if
could
you
do
run
both.
this way, yeah, and then that.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, there's one in Oakland. You go to that one on MacArthur.
And then whenever you're ready, let's wait. Okay.
my name is Dylan, and that's my story. My name is Dylan, and that's my story.
Okay.